Good Wednesday, everybody. We are back on another job, and this one I don't know about this one. We're gonna have to just see. I'm pretty hopeful, but I'm pretty hopeful. So hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. It was a great weekend of college football. I went to up to Apex, North Carolina, and saw my mom, my stepdad, my brothers came. My sister already lives up there with her husband and her 2 kids, my niece and my nephew. So it was a good time seeing all of them, watched some college football, did some cooking out, hung out with the family. It was a good time. So did some mowing work yesterday, no big deal. And I was gonna go do a bush hogging job this morning, but the guy backed out at the last minute. So I was gonna start this job tomorrow, but we're out here today. We're gonna get about a half a day's worth of work in here, and it's a doozy. So let's take a look at what we got, and we'll get started. All right, I got little Munchie back from the weld shop. They got working on that. They're actually done with it yesterday, but I picked it up this morning. And so here's the job we got. We got this house here, and then we got this low area that slopes off down here, and then there's a creek back there, and then there's like a drainage tile that goes underneath the driveway out of the yard. And so all we're gonna try to do here, I'm gonna start right here, and he wants to get at least to that drainage tile and open it up all the way to the creek. And then from like there, from that drainage tile, all the way back to that corner, we're gonna try to do as much as we can to open this up. So obviously we're not doing the big stuff, but I'm gonna try to get these willows down. It's a lot of willows and red maples and stuff in here. I see a poplar right there. So just a bunch of junk, no good. It's pretty wet though, you guys can see. This is all kind of sloppy in here. But I think once I get over there onto that hard ground, I'm hopeful that's all pretty stable for me to make my way back in there. We're gonna do the best we can with it, but this is not a job for the skid steer. It is wet and mucky, and hopefully we're dried out enough after the hurricane to be able to get in here and do this. Look at the muscadines. These are muscadine grapes. They grow everywhere around here. They're so good. These are right around the 1st of September is when they get ripe, and they get good. Well, they got seeds in them though, but that right there is good stuff right there. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Nice and sweet. There's a whole vine of them, but it's all got to come out. But fortunately, there's no shortage of those grapevines in the state of South Carolina. They grow everywhere. So I got the teeth sharpened up, and we're gonna get this thing started. So let's get to it.
Well, what I thought might be a problem is definitely a problem. It's still very wet in here. That's all just soup right there. Super saturated. The Mini can go over this kind of stuff pretty good, but that is just totally saturated. It's still very wet in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this section at, well, maybe if I can come around from the backside, but I don't know. The ground gets better as you go in. Like, this is all wet here, but that back there looks pretty solid back in there. And right here where these willows are, see, all that looks pretty good back in there. I just got to get back there. So let me see if I can take these willows down right here. But I don't know. I do not know. May have to talk to the owner about this one, because I don't want to leave him with a half-done job, because that's what he wants to be able to clear that from where that tile comes out, that pipe comes out all the way down, so this will flow better. But if it's all just saturated where that water's been flowing through there and basically been flowing through the ground, there's no way I'm getting through there. There's no way. So that was one of the main points of this project, was to do that. Let me talk to him. Okay, so I talked to the owner, and unfortunately it doesn't look like this is going to work. And what's happened here, and I'd asked him, I'd called him before I came and said, hey, I'm coming to do your job. I said, is everything dry? And he said, yeah, because this, after the hurricane or any bad storms, this actually floods up in through here. I said, is everything dry? He said, yeah, I just cut the grass. Everything looks to be pretty dry. So when I came out here and looked at this, this was way before the hurricane, and this all looked pretty dry. But what has happened here is this field tile here, when it takes water, it's not actually flowing over the ground, it's flowing in the ground. And this is like, I was trying to walk the machine through here, and I kind of picked I put the mulcher down and kind of picked the front end up, because the bottom end, or the front end, was kind of sinking down there and going down into the ground. And I put the mulcher down, and there was just, whoop, there was just no bottom right here in this. This is just pure muck. And I knew there was no way I was going to be able to walk the machine into there and down that line through this swamp. Not going to happen. So there might be some dry areas in there, but I didn't want to like go through here and like basically clear what I could clear and then leave a whole bunch of other areas open. You know, it just would have looked like crap, because he wants all of this stuff gone, and that just wouldn't have looked good.
So I kind of stopped before I got ahead of myself here and made too much of a mess. Plus, if I bury the machine in there, then I got a stuck machine. He's got a job he's not happy with. So sometimes it's one of those things where you just kind of have to stop yourself and say, wait a minute, we may need a new plan here, and just kind of stop yourself and walk away. And the owner was very appreciative that I did that, and we talked about it. And so what I'm going to do is, I've got a good buddy of mine that I've done some mulching work for that does land clearing. He's got a big cat excavator, and I'm going to call him and have him come out here and give a price. And what I think we can do is, if you've got a big tracked excavator, I think he can go in there with that machine and basically rip all of this out. And because all this is getting filled in with dirt, he wants to fill all this up here and make this where this doesn't flood so bad. And then we're going to cut a ditch in there and get that water to flow through there. If I can get him to come in here and basically rip all this out and lay it up here on the dry ground, I can bring the 120 in here, and as he's ripping it out, you know, I can just mulch all this down and make a mulch pile here. And it probably wouldn't be but, you know, 2-3 inches thick. I mean, that looks like a lot, but once we lay it out through here and mulch it down, it wouldn't be very thick. And then he can just, he's not going to build anything here, so he can just come over here and put, you know, a couple feet of dirt on it. He'd already had this filled in. This is about 20 loads of dirt that he'd had a guy come in and put in right here. And they put it in and compacted it all with a bulldozer. So you could cover that with mulch, you know, that much dirt. You know, if you had a little bit of mulch at the bottom and just cover it with dirt, you're not going to be fine. It might have a little settlement, but that'll take years and years and years and years, and it probably wouldn't be a whole lot. So that's what I think we're going to do, at least try to do. We'll see if the price to clear all this out is going to work within his budget, but there's no way I'm getting a machine in there, not with rubber tracks, not that little mini, unfortunately. So sometimes, you know, just down here in the low country, you come across some of these jobs sometimes where, you know, I've had jobs and I'm like, I don't think I can go in there, and then I go in and we don't have any problems. And then I've got other ones that are like, yeah, this shouldn't be a problem, and then we're not able to do it, or we've got problems. So you know, it just is what it is. And you know, one thing I'm pretty good about is kind of stopping myself before I get ahead of myself and making sure I don't create a bigger mess for myself and also the owner. So he's got some more stuff to do up there at the front, so we're gonna go take a look at that while we're here. I had not discussed that with him, but he's like, hey, while you're here, I was thinking about see if you could do this, you know, this stuff in the front. So I was like, all right. So we'll go see if we can get that done and try to do something else with this. that the owner wants gone. He wants all this gone, except for that big pine that's back there, so down it goes. Put a good sharpen on the teeth before I got started, and yeah, they're ripping pretty good. They took a bit of a beating over there on that swash job. There was some concrete and rocks and stuff that were hidden in there, and the teeth took a little bit of a beating, so I put a good sharpen on them, and they're definitely eating a lot better. Get this out of my way. There we go. Cleanup work to do with the turn the GoPro just a little bit. We're gonna have some cleanup work to do with the blower when I get done, but if you want omelets, you gotta break some eggs. Water over right here. Got an even bigger one back in there I gotta get down. I'm trying not to sling stuff out in the yard, but it is what it is. Watch my line there. Right here, taking out around these trees is kind of a perfect example of what these mini excavator mulchers are good for. I mean, you can do this with the skid steer too, but I'm super excited for football starting tomorrow for the NFL. I'm a big NFL fan. I'm just so excited for football. Been waiting so long for it. Misty was a big Chiefs fan because she went to Texas Tech, and Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for Kansas City, went to Texas Tech, and she was always a big Chiefs fan. When Mahomes got drafted there, she was like, she became the biggest Chiefs fan. That guy. One of the fondest memories I have of Misty and I'll tell you guys a story really quick. One of the fondest memories I have was we were hanging out at a friend's house. We had just met each other. We were hanging out at a good friend of ours' house up in Atlanta, up in Woodstock, and it was college football, and we were going over there to watch the game, and Texas Tech was playing Oklahoma, and it was Patrick Mahomes versus Baker Mayfield, and I think the score ended up being like 58 to 52 or something like that. It was crazy. It was like 1,000 yards of offense. It set records for how much offense was in that game. It was insane. And I mean, she just screamed at the TV the entire time, and I was like, I don't know if I'm in love with you or if I'm scared of you. Oh, it was so funny. But she sat there and rooted for her Red Raiders like nobody's business. And it was a lot of fun. Even though Texas Tech lost that night, it was a lot of fun. Every Sunday we were watching football. Saturday night and Sunday we were watching football. That's what we did. Oh, we got a big old water oak right here. Oh, come on. Ah, no! Oh, no! Well, that just happened. No harm, no foul. That's why I don't have any lights on this machine. It's because of that right there. The lights get broke off when stuff like that happens. But we'll get all this ground up and keep this process moving along. Shouldn't take too long, but we got some big water oaks in here to get down, but we'll get them and make this look good and see what it looks like afterwards. All right, we got that cleaned up right there. The only thing I wasn't able to take down was that tree right there. It was a hair too big to get down with the mulcher, with little Munchy. But other than that, we got the rest of it down, which was a viney, water oak entangled mess, but we got it, and I got all the stuff blown back in there. He's gonna burn all that and just try to turn, he said he wants to turn it into carbon, so we'll fertilize whatever he's gonna put back there. And did those 2 little spots right there as well, and that's that. So didn't come out as a total loss, even though we weren't able to do that back there. We did get some stuff done, so he's happy about that. There just wasn't anything I can do about going back there in that swamp. It'd have to be like super dry, like drought dry, for me to get back in there, and I don't even know if I could do it then. That ground holds a lot of water, and it is soupy. It is super saturated. So that is the job for today, and I didn't know if I was gonna film this or not, but thought this would be a good learning lesson out there for all of you that may be thinking about going into this business, or maybe you're just getting started, that sometimes you just have to know when to say, hey, you know, I don't think we can do this. And it'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of heartache, and save your client a lot of heartache too, because, you know, if I'd have gone in there and just made a mess of that, you know, and gotten my equipment stuck, it'd have been bad for me and bad for him, and just all around no good. So sometimes it's better just to pull the plug before the tub overflows, as they say. I just made that up, so I don't know if they say that or not. So all right, well, that's that. I'm gonna load up little Munch. I'm still waiting to hear back about the skid steer. We had to put a new depth sensor. All right, so sensor came in yesterday evening, not in the shop, but looks like the sensor's in, so hopefully we'll get the skid steer back maybe by the end of the week. So that'll be good news. Got a few projects with that, so I'm gonna load this bad boy up and we're gonna get out of here, and I got more stuff to come tomorrow and the rest of the week, so stay tuned. I'll check you guys later. Bye, everybody.